Welcome back to Inside Eastern Utah. I am your host, Scotty Draper, and we are here now with Eileen Green and some staggering statistics. Last month in May was Mental Health Awareness Month, and according to statistics, every year 44 million Americans are faced with a mental health illness each year, and that is, to put it in perspective, 1 in 5 Americans, which is a staggering amount. Only half of those seek treatment every year. And we are here to talk with Eileen about how Four Corners is working to break that stigma, to bust down those walls, and to get those numbers up for people that are seeking treatment, and to hopefully get those cases down for people that are experiencing it. So thank you for joining us today, Eileen.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And you actually have a couple of titles over there at Four Corners. Can you tell us what you do?
So one of my positions as part of our prevention education team, I'm a prevention specialist for Carbon County. And one of our main reasons that we're doing that is to address the mental health, behavioral health issues such as addiction in our community. So we're using prevention science to try and bring those numbers down. Another role I have is as a community resource facilitator for Carbon and Emery counties. And with that, I work more individually with families who have children with mental health issues, behavioral health issues. And yeah, so that's a big part of what I do. But
so mental health is very near and dear to you.
It's
obviously.
what I do.
Yes, so this
what
month,
we all do.
that month of May is very important. So can you tell us a bit about Mental Health Awareness Month?
May is the National Mental Health Awareness Month. Just the idea of bringing people's attention to it, what it is, some of what it isn't. There's so many misconceptions about mental illness. So we were trying to think of ways that we could make it more interactive with our community. And we'd heard about some groups up north that were painting rocks and putting messages on them with a link to certain Facebook pages or a hashtag. So we decided to do a link to our Facebook page, and we put a whole bunch of things on our Facebook page, just statistics about what mental illness is, about the number of people that have it. It's very common. Mental illness is a common thing, just like any other illness that you might have with a different organ of your body. It's common, it's there. We want people to think about it in different ways. It doesn't make you a bad person, it doesn't make you incapable. And with the different medications and treatments we have today, there's so much hope that even if you have been diagnosed with a mental illness, there's abilities to function, have relationships. There's some people that struggle more than others, and we also want to break down the stigmas around them. We want to encourage kindness and thoughtfulness and respect to everybody. And also we put a whole bunch of things on there to remind people that everyone has mental health.
Yes.
We all have brains.
Which means we all have mental health, like
right.
we have kidney health or heart health.
Right, exactly. And there are things that we can all do to take care of our mental health. Getting the right amount of sleep, eating correctly, exercising. Those are some basics. But there's also a lot of other things. The self-talk, things that you say to yourself. There are a lot of different things. And these come from research, evidence-based things, the stuff that we put on there. Some of it seems like no-brainer. Well, some people do that naturally. Great. We're glad they are. But some people don't. And just ideas, and if you do have a mental illness, ideas to come up with wellness plans. Getting enough sleep for someone who does have a mental illness can be vital to taking care of themselves. Just as someone with high blood pressure, getting enough sleep and exercise will be vital for them.
Of course.
It's there's some things that are just across the board better for your body. And we know that. So we want to encourage people to go to our Facebook page and check out all the different resources. We have connections to different organizations such as NAMI, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And look at those. If you have concerns, if you think you might have a mental illness, there are some free screening options. There are different tools on there.
Yes, there's a link right there. You can take a anonymous mental health screening. It's completely free.
Right, and no one else needs to know. And I struggle with depression myself. So knowing that, when I found out that was an official diagnosis, I have to admit that was hard for me because of all the stigma, because I had preconceived ideas about what that meant for me and what other people would think of me. I'm breaking that down for myself. So I try and take care of myself, seek the treatment that I need, take care of myself mentally and physically. Sometimes see a professional who can give me the guidance on thinking of things in a different way. Because we all grow up with our own issues and our own misconceptions about things.
Of course.
And sometimes having a professional can just help you think about things in a different way and go, oh, okay, that makes more sense. And so we've got a great treatment team at Four Corners, and they do a lot of work to help everyone, regardless of what it is, whether it's a behavioral, mental health issue. We have a lot of treatment options for all ages, and we've got great therapists and clinicians working around the clock to help people.
Yes, and those people helped obviously during the month of May with these projects. You guys said there were 2 main projects.
Yes.
And so you started talking about the rocks, which I think was a great idea. And so with this, a lot of clients came and helped, a lot of the employees helped. You guys all got together, you painted rocks. They could include words of encouragement or just things that make people happy. They could just kind of use their creativity with it. And then you were plugging people to Facebook, right? With the Facebook page on the back. And then what did you guys do with these rocks after they were painted?
Then we asked people to hide them around their communities. So from East Carbon to Helper, all over the communities. I don't know where they all got hidden. I said, please take these rocks and go hide them.
Put them somewhere.
Put them where people can find them. So I know I put several out, and I've kind of checked to see, and the ones I put out are gone, which I'm happy about.
Which is what's supposed to be happening, right?
The
people
idea is make it interactive. You can keep them. You can put them back out for someone else to find. But the idea being, if you like the rock, fun. But look at the Facebook page on the back. Go check it out. Learn more about mental illness. Learn more about mental wellness. Learn about ways that you can take care of your mental health. And also like our page. Follow us. And when we have different events going on in the community, we want to have it on there so people can know about it. And just have it as a resource for everyone in the community to go and check that out and get what they need.
And I think one of the great things about this project is it isn't just something that is going to be contained to the month of May. It can be ongoing. You can paint a rock whenever you want. You can re-hide the rock. You can like the Facebook page, and it just kind of is a snowball effect. It will keep going.
That's what we're hoping. We don't want it to be just think about your mental health in May.
1 month out of the year, that's all you get to think about mental health.
Exactly. We want this to be an ongoing thing. Mental health doesn't take a break, just like any other illness or physical health of your body. So we want you to be thinking about it all year. We want, if you have a loved one you're concerned about, if you personally are concerned about yourself, stop and take a minute and think about, okay, what are some options for me? And we have just several different options. There are many different treatment options. There are many different things you can do.
And it's very individualized as well, because mental health is not the same across the board.
Absolutely not.
No. And that kind of leads us into the second project you did, which I think is very individualized as well. Can you tell us a bit about the flyer project?
Yeah, it was really simple. I worked with Cecilia Jensen, who is our suicide prevention specialist, and she's awesome. She's new at Four Corners. And because some of our rates of completion in our community are really high, we want to address that by encouraging hope. So a lot of the people that do complete are people that are not reaching out. There is so much shame and so much stigma, and we want to break that down. And so it was a simple thing. It was a little flyer that said, take what you need, had a picture of a sunshine and our logo on it. And then we had little tabs at the bottom. Instead of someone's name and phone number, they were words of encouragement. Faith, hope, forgiveness, love, strength. And, I think about it, I'm like, today I could really use some strength or courage or forgiveness. This is something we all need. And sometimes if you've done things wrong or made mistakes or been in a hard place, you lose hope. And we don't want anyone to lose hope. We want everyone to realize there's always hope. Keep trying and take what you need. If today you need a little more courage, it's just kind of a mental reminder. It's not that you're actually getting that, but sometimes that little piece of paper can remind you, yeah, I've got a little more hope today. Someone else is wishing this for me as well as me.
And that is another great interactive and ongoing project that can span throughout the year. Now, before we let you go, if people are struggling with their mental health, but they don't really know the first step to take, what would you recommend to kind of get them going and get them to be addressing their concerns?
There are a lot of different things, and a lot of people are afraid to talk about it. So, as you mentioned, we have the free screening on our Facebook page. Check it out. It's simple, it's anonymous, no one else has to know. If you're not as worried about people knowing, which we're glad you're getting to that point, come into Four Corners or a different therapist. We have several therapists in our community. Go in, find out what you need to do for mental health assessment. If you're worried about money, we can do a mental health assessment for free.
Great.
We have sliding fee scales. We accept many insurances, so there's a lot of options that way. And then the mental health therapist will go through and ask you a lot of questions, discuss things with you, and then they can help you decide. They will help you know, there's something to be concerned about here.
Let you know what the next step is.
Right. And if you have, say, a family physician you see, maybe go talk to them. Ask them some questions, find out, okay, these are some things. Be honest and talk about it. Say, I've been really having a hard time feeling happy, or I get angry easily, or sometimes I have some weird thoughts. Be honest and just talk about it with someone you trust.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources available.
There are a lot of resources, and you're not a bad person. There's hope. There's help.
Yes, there certainly is. So if you need more information, you can visit the Four Corners Facebook page, give them a call. Like she said, there's many, many resources in the community because mental health awareness is important every month. I think is the
absolutely
what we're getting at here. So thank you so much for joining us today, Eileen. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
And thank you for joining another episode of Inside Eastern Utah. Stay tuned. More of your favorite programming is coming up next on ETV Channel 10.